3, 2, 1.
What?
3, 2, 1.
Happy holidays, everyone!
That was a Christmas card right there. All right, everyone. Welcome to the Davis Pickleball Podcast Christmas, holiday edition.
Good save.
Yeah, good save. We haven't done a podcast in a while. We feel like it's just been like on the road and a lot of practice for us. So it's nice to be back. We're in our new studio here.
Alex's house.
Yeah, Alex. Yeah, we like it here. So we'll probably be doing more content and stuff here. But yeah, how are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling?
Yeah, good. Good to be back. Been a while, but yeah, just all of us been working hard. But yeah, good to be back with all you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to be back in the new studio that Alex curated for us. Yeah, it's a bit colder here. Got the holiday season, but yeah, it's good to be back with everyone.
Yeah, I just moved back to Davis about a month ago.
Oh, yes.
Loving life
Let's
here.
move here.
So this is my new apartment, and yeah, it's great to be with you guys.
Yeah, this is gonna be so sick. I'm so glad you're here, Alex. I can't believe that happened.
Yeah.
Like but when we filmed our first podcast, I don't even think it was on the table yet, right?
I think I just started contemplating the idea. The
We
seed was
incepted
there.
the idea.
And then once we did the podcast, I was sold. I was like, gotta be with these guys.
It was a really fast transition from the idea to it happening too.
quite literally in a week. Like it
That's
went from
insane.
idea to almost having an apartment. This apartment chosen out.
Yeah.
You move so fast. Like I feel like I relate with you a lot because when you like get the idea, you're just like all in. I'm going for it. Like there's no like, let me think about it. Let me create a business plan. You're just like, I bought it.
Yeah, it felt right on every single level. So I just figured, let's do it.
I love that.
And obviously it's been amazing for us being able to like practice.
Oh, it's so nice.
Have high level
So much
drilling
easier, yeah.
games.
It's so nice. It's so nice having another person who's like basically job is just pickleball. You know, like Dylan, you got your like PhD stuff going on. Nick, I guess Nick is in the same boat, but you're all the way in Vacaville.
Yeah.
But then Alex is truly like, I can just go over and knock on his door and be like, you want to play some pickleball?
Yeah, I used to, travel a while ago, like an hour and a half to just drill with Alex for like an hour or so, like pretty often, like once a week. And now I walk 30 seconds to get to his house or, drive 2 minutes and get to the courts and play. It's crazy. Yeah, it's amazing. It's a pretty unique situation where we all have a good amount of time to play pickleball and we're all pretty dedicated. So
Definitely.
very lucky with this group.
Yeah, I was quite literally driving before Dylan got injured every single other week up to Davis. And then once he got injured, then Nick took that role.
Yeah.
And he kept coming down once a week and I kept going up then. And I was like, okay, once Dylan comes back, I'll be coming up here twice a week. And then I played with Ed and I was like, oh gosh, I gotta do the same thing with Ed now. I'm gonna be coming to Davis 3 times a week. And I thought, okay, this is silly. Let's make the move. I went to UC Davis. So this felt like just a super obvious move. And I'm very grateful for all of your friendships and to have great pickleball to play with constantly.
We're just going to end it
Christmas
here.
came early.
Yeah, happy holidays, everyone. That's it for the podcast. We're good now. We're good. So let's talk about like our goals. Just kind of an overarching like what our plan is for pickleball, like what our dreams and aspirations are. I think we kind of a unique group of guys here where we all are all pointing towards the same direction, all slightly different. But I think as the audience, I'm kind of realizing people are really invested in just like authenticity, like our stories, even though we're not like Ben John's level right now. Like people still want to hear like what.
Speak for yourself, Ed.
Yeah, Nick's looking at me like, excuse me, I'm gonna make you eat those words. Like I'm gonna be tough.
Ben who?
Give me some time.
Yeah. So let's start with you, Nick. Like what is it with pickleball? Like what is your endeavor?
Yeah, for sure. So for me, I would just want to be the highest standard that I can get to and compete on the highest level. I want to be one of the best players in the world in multiple events. I want the sport to be on a level where it goes to the Olympics and I can compete for my country as well.
Yes.
That's just a dream for me, to be on that level. And then aside from that as well is just kind of on the content creation thing. Ed's been such an inspiration to me and I'm really learning day by day how to be a content creator and stuff like that. So, I really want to be one of the best content creators that I can be as well. So that's kind of goals for me and kind of what I'm doing day to day and my outlook and things like that really. So what about you, Dylan? What are you looking at?
All right, I have to follow that. I just want to make dinks. It's my main goal at the moment. Yeah, no, I mean, it's cool being around such like an inspirational, motivated group as this. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say my goals for a while since I started playing was just to get as good as possible, basically, to learn pickleball, to master it, and to get as good as possible. And then playing tournaments was always a source of excitement and inspiration for me. You can kind of test yourself and go up in the level. So, I mean, I still think I have that goal. And now, you know, having played for a couple years and being at the level that I am, you know, I feel like I can compete at a pro level. And I want to continue to be able to get that confidence to consistently play at a pro level, break in a little bit. Yeah, and just be involved in pickleball. I know we have, you know, a lot of projects and goals that we're thinking of in numerous, you know, endeavors of not just getting good at pickleball, but the content creation, obviously, with Ed and all of us, and, you know, other stuff we have planned. So be involved in pickleball as much as possible, get as good as possible. But, you know, I do have like a PhD that I'm doing, as Ed said, which, you know, hopefully will end in like a next year or two. But yeah, so it is tough. I feel like I relate to people having, you know, I have more freedom than like a 9 to 5 for sure. Like I have a lot of blocks during the day when I could play. But yeah, it is difficult, you know, training hard and competing, going to tournaments, you know, mostly paying for it myself, and pursuing it. So yeah, I don't know. It's just the trying to get to pro while having other stuff going on, or in general, is really hard. Yeah. I mean, like a couple, you know, 2-3 years ago, a lot of people had full-time jobs, or at least part-time jobs, or they were teaching a ton of clinics, like a lot of the top pro players. Yeah. And now it's, you know, it's not really, you can't be at the level that you need to be in like top 20, or let's say even challenger MLP, but definitely premier MLP, while, you know, having a full-time job. Like you got to train every day, you got to have every shot. Mm-hmm. The level is just getting higher and higher. So, yeah, no, I mean, it's really tough. Yeah. Basically, yeah.
Would you ever say, like, if the opportunity came, you would basically just switch to full-on pickleball? Like,
100%. Yeah. 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 Like I would definitely do that.
If some company was like, here, we're going to pay you a salary, like you pursue your pickleball and content creation, you would take that?
Yeah, I think I would take that. I mean, I would definitely take that. I think, I mean, I do want to finish your PhD. Finish the PhD. Like I'm 4 years in. Even if I don't end up being a professor and working in academia, like just finishing that would be good, especially because I don't have that much left to do. Mm-hmm. But, you know, if I were to receive some opportunity where I could play full time, you know, I'm not going to be young forever. So I feel like I can always do, you know, academia, but I can't always do pickleball. And I love it so much. And I'm super motivated. So I would definitely take the opportunity. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm. All right, Alex.
Yeah, this is a really tricky question for me to answer. I think my number one goal is to just have tremendous fun while playing the sport. And that sounds like a pretty obvious answer, but it's very tricky at times when you have such high aspirations, and oftentimes you don't meet the standards that you set for yourself. You can kind of be tense on the court. So I find myself being tense on the court despite absolutely loving the sport itself. So I would rather be a 5-0, 5 player having tons of fun than being one of the best players in the world and just finding it to be a grind of sorts. With that said, I'm obsessed with improvement, and I want to be the very best player I can be. Yeah. I don't have the confidence that Nick has to say that I want to be a top 10 player in the world. It depends on the day you ask me. There are some days you ask me and I'll think, I play well on a day, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I'm really good at this sport.
After some of those speed ups.
I can become great, who could beat me? And then the next day I'll not play well, I'm thinking, what was I thinking? I'm terrible at this sport. Yeah. And so, like, I don't have the background in sports that like Nick has. So Nick comes from high level D1 tennis. So he has achieved in a similar sport something that's extraordinarily high level. I was a high school tennis player. And then I went to Davis, then went to law school and was a lawyer for a number of years until I was 30. So my path is definitely less traditional, so to speak. So my goals, I would say, is to become the best player I can be, and probably would be to represent England in the Olympics and join Nick on the team.
Oh,
and
shoot.
That's a strong
That's
team
an awesome
right there.
goal.
we're both.
That's a strong team.
That's the one thing that seems somewhat achievable, given that England hasn't quite taken off in pickleball. So
Yeah.
Nick and I are two of the top. It sounds ridiculous to say, but we are two of the top British citizens in the world.
Yeah.
And so, if the Olympics came in 2028 or 2032, if I keep training hard,
Yeah.
it's possible.
Oh man, that would be
Yeah.
so
All
amazing.
right, let's get the game plan going against Ben
Yeah.
and Colin right now.
They were taking
All
down
right.
USA.
Yeah,
Oh,
we've got
man.
plenty of years to figure it out. So
If they're even playing for USA anymore at that time.
True,
I already
yeah.
got a sponsor lined up for you guys too. The Topspin Pro, that little device that I use to train, they're
Right.
based in England.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
British company,
and he,
nice.
Oh, that's
the
interesting.
I was talking to the CEO, and he said that he never really played pickleball before, because the Topspin Pro is originally like a tennis training
Yeah.
device. A lot of tennis players have used it, and he was like telling me that after he watched my like videos on it, he played it with his like 90-year-old dad who played tennis for a long time, and he said he's never seen his dad like have like so much fun playing pickleball, or like in general, but he was like playing pickleball, and he like something clicked in him. He's like, wow, this I understand it now.
Oh,
That's pretty
It's
cool.
gonna be rising up.
Those are the
You
best
guys-
stories.
That'd be nice.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Two more
So
courts there.
how do you straddle that line between, I mean, it's a tough line to straddle between having fun and enjoying yourself, but also trying to improve in an obsessive way? Because I think a lot of people relate to that. Because a lot of people really do have that value of enjoying themselves. And once they stop enjoying themselves in training, then, you know,
That's
they
a
don't
great
want to do
question.
anymore.
Yeah.
I really feel like it's not the best answer, but I enjoy when I play well. And so I can kind of achieve both. So a lot of my obsessive improvement is to get to the point where I feel very confident on the court. And when I feel confident on the court, I tend to have more fun. It's not necessarily about winning more, but when I play well, I feel good. So I feel like if I keep putting in the work, I keep doing the training, I keep drilling, keep playing rec games, keep playing tournaments, I'll get better and better to the point where I actually feel relaxed and enjoying myself on the pickleball court.
That's cool. So they go hand in hand.
They do. I think
yeah,
they do.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that a lot. I feel like that's more relatable to a lot of people, because most people, rec players, they're just playing it to enjoy, but there always is that underlying feeling of like, how do I get better? Like, how do I beat that person who keeps beating me or whatever?
Yeah, definitely
yeah.
a fine line to balance.
Yeah,
Definitely, yeah.
yeah.
But what about you? What about your goals?
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like it's interesting because as I'm hearing your answers, I like see myself in each scenario. I think I would say I'm probably closest to Alex in the sense that for me, enjoyment is like the most important thing for me. Yes, I want to get better. Yes, I get enjoyment out of improvement. But if I'm not having fun with something, like I just don't do it. That's just like my personality. Like as soon as it feels like work to me, I'm like out. I'm like, okay, let me play chess on my phone or something, you know, like I'll just switch to something else completely and I check out. But the thing with pickleball that I feel like has been really just keeping me going, like I'm kind of surprised I'm not burnt out yet, considering the amount of hours that I sink into thinking, playing about pickleball. I think the reason is because it's still just like a game for me. Like it's not work for me. Even though there are moments where I have to exert and push. Like for me, my goals for pickleball is I want to be the best player that I can so that I can, you know, keep up with all you guys. Like, you know, I'm trying to survive out there with you guys. But I also want to be able to kind of document that process in forms like content creation. Like I want to document how I'm slowly improving and how I can like kind of share whatever knowledge that I'm getting with everyone else. So kind of like a little bit of a blend is like I want to keep enjoying it and I want to keep improving, and I just kind of want to put that content out there for people to like learn along with me. So I think for me, like the content that I create isn't necessarily always like this is the perfect technique or like I'm the best player who can do this shot. But for me, like kind of my niche is, okay, as a somewhat average person who plays pickleball, learning these things, how can I how can I transfer that information to someone else in a very digestible way? And I really love doing that. I love telling like those little stories of doing that.
Yeah. And that's why you're so good at content creation. You can translate that and appeal to like so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you want to be the best content creator in the world?
Do I want to be the best content
the top
creator?
content creator?
You know, that's I will do my best, but I don't have that like pressure on me. Because I like I said, I feel like as soon as I have that pressure on me that like, oh, I want to be #1 content creator, then it just becomes about me being the top, and that's like the work for me. Yeah. But I think for me, like I'm just focusing on doing what I like. You know, most of my content that I put out is just us drilling or us playing games or me like excitedly sharing what I just learned from you guys. So I'm not really thinking about like, all right, strategy, like what do I need to like, what's the best, you know, what can I get the most views on and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's still, I'm learning a lot of things on like what gets views and all that. But for me, I think it's definitely enjoy, like Alex said, just be happy and I think people really like seeing that. Like I get a lot of people saying that like, oh, I really like your videos because like you just always seem happy, or like you just seem like, you know, you're actually enjoying it. And sometimes when I see pros create like instructional videos, sometimes they're so good, like they're literally the best player who could do like the wrist flick or something, and then when they teach, there's like, oh yeah, so yeah, you just loose grip and you know, you just low stance, and then you just want to go through the ball. And I'm like, that's it? That, like, I was waiting for like some like epiphany, like I was waiting for something really awesome, more excitement, but sometimes they're just like really just like, I don't know, they didn't seem excited about it and didn't go into depth. But
yeah, those who are the best aren't always the best teachers, I think.
Yeah, you find coaches that aren't great players, and you find players that aren't great coaches, but then you find some that are great at both as well, and not so great at both. So yeah, it literally goes every different way. Yeah. Tell us more recently about your experience. I know you went to San Clemente.
Yeah.
So you want to tell us about kind of your just overall experience, maybe some results, playing with Chris as well.
Yeah.
I know you had a great time playing with Chris, so tell us a little bit more about that experience.
Yeah, for sure. So yesterday I just released that whole recap video, and I just watched Chris's podcast on the recap as well. In a nutshell, I won't talk too much about it since I made that video already, but in a nutshell, like it, for me, the biggest takeaway was like just the people that I got to meet there. Like I was really shocked at like how many people like recognized me and like said like, oh, I watched your videos, and it kind of just made it feel like the videos that I make wasn't just like me just putting it out into the abyss of the internet, but it's like it actually connected to real people who come up to me and told me like, yeah, I learned this shot because of you, or like, oh yeah, I started doing this more and I played more. And I think it gave me a really big motivation to make more videos that help people. So that was like my biggest takeaway, is really just the people. Now with Chris, it was awesome meeting Chris. Like it was really, I remember the first night, I was like just like so surreal, like hearing his voice like in person. I was like, oh my God.
Not reviewing a paddle.
What's that?
Hearing his voice while not reviewing a paddle.
Yeah, not reviewing a paddle, yeah. Which, by the way, I got to give kudos to Chris, because the way that Chris talks in person is like pretty much completely identical to the way that he like appears on like YouTube. Like he's an extremely genuine guy. Like he's super authentic, and
that's cool.
The whole time, like, you know, I met him, like I'm like, you are exactly how I see you on TV. So
yeah, I think that's a big reason why both of you are having such success, is because people can feel your authenticity. They can feel how much you truly love the sport. And while I think you're doing yourself a massive disservice by describing yourself as an average pickleball player, you're obviously significantly better than that. I think people can relate to, like you said, the pros. For them, some of these shots feel easy to them. They play tennis for 20 years. It just feels natural to them. You and all of us, or at least Dylan and I, have had to learn painstakingly every minutia of every shot. And doing that process enables you to teach it better, possibly.
Yeah.
I think you do a really good job of relating very difficult information in a digestible, easy way for everyone. Because I think what makes the pickleball community so amazing is at every single level, some people may just be playing purely for fun, but I think everyone wants to get better. Everyone has that almost analytical mindset of what can I do to improve my game? And it's just, there's so many different areas of sport where you can improve. And it just, I think there's a study showing that's truly a whole brain activity.
Yeah.
And I think that you do a great job of showing how people can get better in all facets of the sport.
Yeah. That's good. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Another thing I wanted to highlight that I didn't talk about in the recap video was in the second day, the mixed doubles day, I didn't get a partner, so I wasn't playing, which I was half bummed about, but also like half just happy that I get to like watch and like support Chris and the other Minnesota gang, which, by the way, shout out to them. I love them so much. Like, we actually hung out a considerable amount, and they're all super, super nice. So we got to go to Minnesota 2024. We got to do that sometime. Got to visit them. All right, fine, I'll go.
No.
But while we were watching the 4-5 mixed doubles, one of the Minnesota gangs, they played against Justin Min and Tia. Justin Min, I don't know if you guys have watched Umbrella Academy or Beef, but he's an awesome actor, like super, super, just really talented. And I really, when I see Asian actors who are not just playing like kung fu roles, like I get really excited. Like I'm like, yes, like, there's more nowadays. But 10 years ago, I feel like if you were an Asian actor, you're either a comedian or you're like a kung fu actor. But he's super great. Yeah. But anyways, he was playing in the 4-5 tournament, and I was like super intrigued. I'm like, okay, this big actor, like how good can you be at pickleball while having like a big acting job? He was incredible. And the crazy thing is his mixed partner was like even better than him. Like, she had like this crazy two-handed backhand, but also two-handed forehand. So she was just ripping balls both sides, and they played like tennis players, but they also had really solid kitchen play as well. So I basically, as soon as I started playing them or watching them, I'd just like follow them around and just like watch them. And they're
normal
so
thing
nice.
to do.
Yeah, they were just, like we just like clicked because like Justin, he was super nice. I was trying my best to like not like freak out and like just fangirl all over him. But he was super nice. Like, as soon as I said like, oh, I'm a big fan, he was like, oh, thank you so much. What's your name? I was like, me? Like me? So we just hit it off, and we like kind of just hung out for the rest of the day and just watched some games together. So
it's awesome.
Shout out to Justin and Tia. That was really awesome. Definitely.
More and more celebrities at pickleball tournaments nowadays.
I know.
Yeah.
I heard there's also like a football player or something.
Yeah, Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Foles,
Really?
he won the Super Bowl, I think, for the Eagles, was it? Was it Eagles or someone else?
Yeah.
So he's playing now. I'm not sure what division, but
like at an APP, I think I saw.
Yeah, there was
No
some
way.
people watching him.
Yeah.
So there's more and more celebrities getting involved now.
Wow.
Especially
Giant.
competitively, not just you know for fun or charity events. They actually want to get involved and get competitive, which is awesome to see.
Yeah.
So guys, if you want to meet celebrities, just go to pickleball tournament. There's probably some there. Sweet.
Right.
So let's talk about the next thing. We want to talk about some of the paddles we're playing with. And Nick, I know there's some paddles on your radar that you're pretty excited to talk about.
I mean, let's go around first of all. Let's just say what paddles we're using, why we like it.
Yep.
You go first.
Power Air. Kind of a weird switch, but yep, I'm embracing my power banging side.
Okay, I'm on the Perseus right now. Just loving it as like an all-court paddle. For me, it doesn't excel in any certain area. It's just good in every type of area, really. So Perseus for me.
Yeah, I've been experimenting around a little bit. I was using the Selkirk 06 for a little bit. Now I've been trying out the Carbon 3X Power Series, which I like a lot. I mean, it just has a ton of pop, 16 millimeter, a lot of feel. So yeah, I'm really liking that.
I'm using the Gearbox elongated power version.
Cheater.
Unfair.
It can feel like that at times because it kind of does excel at everything.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm really enjoying playing with this.
Yeah, your game has like just skyrocketed after you.
Listen, yeah,
Not
it's
because,
all the paddle.
not just because of the paddle, because it's not just the
wouldn't say
paddle.
that.
That's where people get confused, and I say cheater as a joke, but people think, oh, if you just play with that paddle, like you're gonna be a god at the game. But
No.
you have to learn how to break it in and harness it,
Yeah.
and it fits your style so perfectly because the Gearbox rewards people who don't like, who have like just nice little strokes like here, and you do that like better than anyone. Like your flick. Forehand, backhand. I don't know where you're going. And with the Gearbox, the ball coming off of your paddle so fast, I'm like getting all twisted up.
Yes,
Yeah.
for some reason I feel like it's definitely suits a more control player because sometimes if you don't have that control with that paddle, it can become very unwieldy and
Yeah.
like blocks can go flying out. You're driving,
Yeah.
so you actually have to have some ways really good technique
Yep.
to be able to fully harness the power and control of the paddle.
Yeah.
But I love the soft game even with the power version. I feel like it's as soft as almost any paddle I've used.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I definitely on speed ups and counters, I can just do a little shorter swing than I used to, and the ball goes about 10% faster, and that can make all the difference in timing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the other weird thing on the paddle is it's a different sound than anything else I've ever played with.
Mm-hmm.
So it almost comes off sounds a little dull.
Yep.
And I think that actually plays to my benefit because it's when you hear the sound off my paddle, it doesn't sound loud, but the ball flies. So
Yeah.
your brain has to like recalibrate when facing this
Right.
paddle.
Yep.
What about the worst thing of that paddle?
Yeah,
Because
come
we
on.
hear a lot of great things about it,
Ooh.
but what would you say is the worst thing?
Think hard.
Yeah, you really make this the toughest question of the day. I would say though that it can almost be too powerful. Again,
Okay.
like if your strokes are too big, too long, or you can't soften up your hands on resets and dinks, you could see how it could be problematic. I think a lot of the pros are actually using the control version, and I've not used that, but that's interesting that the pros are gravitating not to the most powerful version,
Yep.
but the more control-oriented
Yeah, that is
version.
surprising.
Yeah, so I heard one reason why they're doing that is because people are finding ways to actually target that paddle now. So the one weakness they're finding with that paddle is when you're speeding up to it to certain areas, it's just bouncing off really hard. So I think recently at some of the tournaments they saw that quite a bit. And people are starting to target certain areas of the paddle, now. So obviously it is a great paddle, but now we're finding ways that we can beat the paddle as well, which is kind of cool to see, which I like. I don't know if it will get banned or not. My best guess is probably no. But yeah, for me, it's just, I want to learn everything about the sport. I don't want to have an advantage. I want to be able to craft my game and, I want myself to be the advantage, basically.
That is interesting.
So
yeah.
it's too good. It's like too good that you feel like it'd be. you'd
Yeah,
have an
like I
advantage with
know,
it.
say if I go use that paddle, yeah, sure, I could win more games, right? But am I going to improve as well as if I actually learn more about my game and implement it? I feel like I could easily win more games if I use the Gearbox.
Whoa.
That's interesting.
Like,
Yeah.
for sure.
But you
100%.
still want to
Well-
use a good paddle because the
Yes.
Perseus is good.
Yes.
But just bad enough where it's in that standard.
It's not a bad
'Cause you
paddle,
could use a
but-
wood paddle, and I'm fine with
I was
that.
thinking of that.
Please do that.
You'd master the game. But,
Yeah,
you know what I
wood
mean?
paddle's
Like-
a little bit different. But
Yeah,
no, for me,
yeah.
I just like all court paddles. So I just
Okay.
don't like paddles that excel in any certain area. And I like to really try and master each individual area. And I find it harder to master an area if the paddle's already mastering that area for you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so I get that definitely to a degree, and I think there's something to that where if you play with a paddle that is suboptimal, you're going to have to potentially learn to overcome that. I think everyone who's playing pickleball in 2023 is going to be surprised that 20 years from now the sport's going to feel a lot easier. I think the paddle technology is going to continue to get better and better, and those of us who look back at this and say, "Wow, we were playing with really difficult conditions, difficult bad balls, weaker paddles, or not as consistent paddles." And I think that will benefit us all long term as the paddle technology improves more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean they're talking about changing the balls now and everything. So even if we see a cap on the paddles or we don't see a cap, they're going to potentially make the balls different speeds and stuff like that. So who knows what's going on? And I don't know if you guys heard as well about potentially Vulcan being the ball sponsor for PPA next year.
Oh, I did not hear that.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously at the
Interesting.
moment it's dominated by Dura at the pro tournament level anyway. And Chris was talking about it on his podcast.
Yeah.
He was saying that he heard that Vulcan are actually going to be the sponsor, and apparently the ball hasn't even been made yet.
Yeah.
So
great.
Good partnership.
yeah. But it's an interesting one for me though, because I would have thought, next ball obviously it's going to be one of the biggest companies. It's going to be Yola. It's going to be Selkirk, and I thought it would have been the S1 for sure.
Yeah.
Great ball, one of the biggest companies, but who knows what happens behind the closed doors,
Yeah.
So
I don't know how locked in that is. It sounded like Chris said it was pretty locked in.
Yeah.
But if it really is just like a bidding war, because, I mean, people are like, Vulcan? I didn't know that was the thing. If it's just a bidding war, you would think that either Selkirk or Yola is going to outbid it.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. But I think at this point, and maybe I speak for the most of us here, but I think we're all just like, I don't care what ball it is, just make it one ball for all tournaments, because people are sick of having to switch and practice between so many different balls.
Yeah,
like PPA's using Duras and APP's using Franklin's or whatever. I don't know if that was true, but people just want all right, just stick with one ball that's going to be somewhat durable, not a Dura, because Duras will just break your bank. People just want one. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to money.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
truly about, because this is a very lucrative deal, because the reason why everybody, I mean, I have only played rec games basically with Franklin's and Duras, and that's simply because those are the tournament balls.
Right.
So even if Vulcan, who no one would ever associate with a ball company, if they're the tournament ball, you're going to see lots of people using Vulcan balls, even if they aren't that great, because Duras are not that great. Duras last you a game and a half, then they get chipped, and you're paying $3 a ball for a ball that costs about 10 cents to make.
Yeah.
So I maybe, it'd be nice to have one ball, but I also a bit more hopeful that it's going to be a good ball. And I'm not as confident that Vulcan will do that if they haven't made it yet. So I would like the PPA to choose the best ball, but I don't have trust that they're going to choose the best ball. I think they're going to choose the company
money
that
ball.
gives the money,
money
ball.
ball.
The money ball. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
so say we're the PPA, which ball would we pick? For me, it would probably be the S1.
okay.
You?
Truly.
The S1.
Oh yeah, you're not sponsored. Okay, yeah. So
yeah,
he means
I'm not
that. He
sponsored,
means that.
and for me, it would be the S1.
Okay. What
Anyone
about you,
else?
Dylan?
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to hear an argument against that for me. Like, Duras are great for like a minute, and then they kind of suck. So, and the S1, I don't see any other competition, honestly. Like, the Oso is decent. I think it gets a little soft. I just don't think it's fast enough and heavy enough. But the S1 feels heavy. It feels pretty fast, and obviously it's like durable. So, yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's like, there's just not that much competition for balls. Like, I'm choosing in my head between like 3 balls, like 4 balls. So, but yeah, I mean, at the moment, I'd probably choose S1, and they could get like a good deal with Selkirk on it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sponsored by Selkirk, and I would definitely say the S1. It's a class. It's the first evolution of ball technology I think we've really had. I think most of the balls are pretty similar to Duras. They're kind of similar. Franklin's are different. They're actually probably previous generation technology. They're more durable, but they're not very great quality. Duras also lack quality, but have the speed. The S1 I've used a number of times actually, and I just love how the feel of it, how consistent it is. I trust the ball. You can generate so much spin. Unfortunately, it benefits Nick's game more than mine because
I knew where you were going as soon as you said unfortunately.
because his drives with the S1, they go up, and then they literally right over the net come crashing down your feet, and so it transforms the way tennis players or players who can generate a lot of topspin can play the sport, and that's difficult for me, but I'm sure we'll all adjust, and it's fun that you can manipulate the ball in such a way that still feels fair.
Yeah. The Pro S1 has by far the most spin out of all the balls that I've played with.
Wow.
Mostly, and almost like the heaviness of the ball, because it has more surface area with the smaller holes, meaning the ball has more surface area. I mean, I am sponsored by Selkirk, so I guess it doesn't really matter what I say. But yeah, like honestly, I kind of like the X40s at times, the Franklins, just because the rallies are a little bit longer. So I don't mind a softer ball, but I do like the feeling of the hands battle feeling a bit poppier. So I don't know, it's kind of like a trade-off of whether you want like, you know, super fast hand battles or like longer rallies, I guess.
Right.
No, that's a great point.
Yeah.
And I think the Franklins can work very well for maybe anyone who just wants to have better points, because it does feel to me noticeably easier to play with a Franklin ball than it does almost any other ball. And if you want to have points that look the most like the pros, you want the ball that feels like the easiest to get over the net and be able to control. And so the Franklin certainly has a role, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People have been saying though that the Pro S1 goes out of round. I know I haven't seen any of them crack yet out of any of the balls I played, but have you guys experienced the Pro S1s going out of round? I haven't noticed myself. Like,
No, I haven't noticed one.
you haven't noticed either.
I've seen
Okay.
people talk about it.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed, but
I don't know where that's coming from. Because
But then they also said, someone said that it went out of shape and then it went back into shape.
yeah,
and then
that
it
to
was-
me doesn't make sense.
And then they
We're
said it was
magic balls
completely
here.
fine after that. So who knows what's happening?
changed.
I don't know. Yeah. But,
Yeah.
not from my experience.
Right.
No, it keeps its shape from what I've
Okay, it
experienced.
does for you too. Okay, because I probably played with about 30 of them, maybe about 30 of them. I just ordered 100, so we'll get that in. Maybe the bigger batches have more quality control issues. I have no idea.
even if
But,
like some go out of shape eventually, like that's okay compared to what like Duras. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if you just feel the ball, it feels more solid than any other ball out
Yeah.
on the market.
Yeah.
And so
Feels
for that
heavy.
reason, I almost believe that it should continue to last longer. It's not invincible, but it should be longer than any other ball out there.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, let's
Should
talk about
we-
our last thing. We'll just talk about our upcoming trips. Let's start with you, Nick. I know you're.
Yeah, so I'm going back to the motherland.
Yeah.
I cannot
Yay.
wait to
Oh,
go back
man.
home. So
It's been a long time for you.
Motherland.
yeah, they're letting me out. They're finally allowing me to go back home. So yeah, I'm going to go back to England, back home, see my family for 2 weeks. I'll be leaving on the 12th, come back on the 27th. And I am so excited just to go back, see my family and just eat so much food. So I literally can't wait. And it's going to be a little bit of a break from pickleball, which I'm actually excited for.
That'd be good.
You
Just
need it.
get
You need
engrossed
it.
in other things. So yeah, I can't tell you how excited I am. So yeah, what about you, Dylan?
Well, it's your first time in England since how long has it been?
It's been maybe like 2 years now. Yeah.
Wow,
That's crazy
That's super
to be that
exciting.
far.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
happy
so,
for you.
Yeah.
I've
What's,
been- I've
what's the
been
story behind that? Why couldn't you go back home?
I mean, it's just tough with immigration and stuff over here. So, I mean, I got married earlier in the year in February. I won't bore you too much with it. But yeah, married in February and literally just got my visa now. So, not being able to leave the country since, not being able to work since. So, yeah, immigration's tough over here. Adds another challenge to the pickleball career as well.
Right.
Just adds a whole nother mental factor. So yeah, it's tough, but yeah, finally able to go back home. So I'm so excited. Yeah.
Congrats, buddy.
That's awesome.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Cheers. Yeah.
I want to go
Um,
there with you. I wanna
Oh
go
yeah,
visit.
you gotta come some.
Oh, yeah, we should go.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna have to.
Do a clinic.
London
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah, we
go.
could do a little trip over there.
Yeah, I'll ask Topspin Pro to see if they could
Yeah.
sponsor us to fly out there or something.
That would be sick.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
So
Yes.
That would be so sick.
who knows if we've got any English listeners? Maybe we'll do a little visit over there sometime soon. So
Yes.
stay tuned.
Didn't you say that you were actually going to be playing a little bit of pickleball there?
Yeah, so I'm going to go
course he
back,
is.
and it's actually a little bit
Break
full
from
circle.
pickleball.
So, yeah, so where I actually
plain
trained
flag.
when I was younger as a tennis player, I'm actually going to go back to that training center, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of pickleball coaching and playing a few games just with some of the local people and kind
Nice.
of giving back a little bit. So
Yeah.
it's really full circle to me because I've trained there my whole life. And then I've gone to America and now I'm coming back and I'm doing a different sport there. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. So meeting up, kind of teaching a little bit. So it'll be really fun. Yeah.
Heck
Nice.
yeah.
Do you think you'll get any flack from the tennis players for going to pickleball? I don't know the
Definitely,
culture.
yeah. So I'm going to see some of my old tennis coaches whilst I'm back, and I already get some comments on social media. And
Is it a real sport?
All of that. You know, padel is better. You know, tennis is a proper sport, and stuff like that.
You gotta convert them all.
Yeah, I've got to convert
them. Have them play one game, and they'll be hooked.
Yeah, I'll put a paddle in their hand, and we'll see how it goes from there. So,
Padel does seem sick though.
Yeah, it seems fun.
I want to play padel.
We'll have to get
I
out
would
there
play
sometime.
padel.
Low-key
for
padel.
sure.
Maybe we could do a video one time with a little crossover where we all go.
Oh,
play
yeah.
Padel.
Yeah.
That's
ping pong.
That was one of the ideas I had. Is we're gonna do a racket Olympics.
Ooh.
We're gonna play matches in every single racket sport: ping pong, racquetball, squash,
They do that in England.
badminton,
Yeah.
padel, and
Oh,
pickleball.
badminton.
What else am I
They
missing?
call it a
probably
rack-a-thon.
more.
They call it what?
Rack-a-thon.
Oh, is that actually a thing?
Yeah, they do
Rack-a-thon.
tournaments in
Rack-a-thon,
England.
yeah.
Interesting.
That's-
I love that.
Okay, Rack-a-thon. I want to do it.
I hope to win one of them.
Yeah.
One of the
we could
events.
we could live stream our rack-a-thon.
No.
I am most
pong.
afraid of tennis because as soon as we enter that
I mean,
tennis
yeah.
court
It's
with
got
Nick,
that. It's a default.
I mean, are we even gonna go
He's
out?
gonna serve it. And I'm just gonna run out of the court and be like, "See ya."
All right,
we
I'll
get-
play lefty. Okay.
We
Yeah,
still,
we'll take it from
I
there.
don't like how
That's even more
chances.
humiliating.
Do we have a better chance 3v1 or 1v1?
It doesn't. It'll make no
I'd say-
difference.
I don't trust you guys.
I think
trust
2v1
you.
is your best chance.
2v1?
Court coverage and stuff.
Wait,
Yeah.
can we actually do 3v1?
Good.
Yeah, we'll do triangle
wanna-
formation.
Yeah, that could
One
work.
up front, two in the back.
Oh, I like that formation.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, no,
That
two
could
in
be
the
a
I don't want to be in the
video.
front.
Two in the front.
Wanna
Two
get
in the
lit
front.
up.
One in the
I'll
back.
take the front. I'll take
Okay,
the
okay.
Let's do it.
And we
Okay.
get the alleys too against it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We get cups and he doesn't.
All
Yeah,
right.
let's talk about you guys because
Oh, yeah.
I know
Yeah.
you three have a trip coming up that sounds absolutely awesome. Let's get into that.
Going back to
Yep.
the motherland. Kidding. We're going to Canada.
Yes, we are going to Canada literally in 3 days. This happened super fast. This Explore Canada reached out to me. They're like this Canadian travel agency, I guess. They have like 1.8 million followers on Instagram. That's how I knew it wasn't a scam because I get these emails all the time like, hey, review our paddles, or hey, like, want to come out to Nigeria, or I don't know, like I get those
Wait, you get a
emails.
lot of emails for free trips for us and you're ignoring
I just get a lot of sketchy emails. So
Yeah.
this one I think actually went straight to my spam folder, and then they DM'd me on Instagram. But they're basically like, hey, we are creating this pickleball spa resort thing, and we would love for you to come and check it out. And I was like, okay, yeah, well, I'll respond to the email. I found it in the spam folder, and I read it thoroughly. I'm like, wait, it says like everything is paid for. I'm like, so I clarified that. I'm like, this sounds really cool. Like, isn't paid for? Like, and they're like, yeah, we'll pay for your whole trip, flights, food, hotel stay, and you could bring someone with you. And then I was like, oh shoot, okay. First person I thought of was my wife, of course. Maggie, don't worry. But
Put that in.
she just changed her last name recently, so her passport's not ready yet. So I was like, okay, I'll ask one of my boys here. They're gonna pay for our flights there, where you're gonna leave in 3 days. And then we're basically just gonna be hanging out at the spa, playing some pickleball, checking out their court.
It's a
and-
dream right there.
Yeah, winter wonderland. I checked the weather there, and it's minus 15 Fahrenheit right now.
The dream.
Oh wait, no, not minus 15 Fahrenheit. That's ridiculous. It was like 15,
No, yeah.
15 Fahrenheit,
Yeah.
which is minus
Minus
4
15.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No,
yeah.
I mean, so awesome. Obviously for us with the plus ones,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't take a lot of convincing to all expense paid trip to Canada for pickleball spa. So I'm really excited to check out the facility. So it's like a new facility that's opening next year. I don't know the full details, but obviously, there's a spa. They said there's like saunas, massage.
Yes.
I think maybe.
What?
That was in the
Yeah,
itinerary.
I will be going to that.
I'm milking
You guys
it.
can go play pickleball.
We're milking it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I assume a lot of it's indoor. Let's hope.
I assume
It's actually
indoor.
all outdoor courts. That's the
Okay.
only bummer.
Oh, it's all
Okay.
outdoor?
I was kidding.
Okay, I was saying that was shocking.
I felt bad about saying hopefully. Okay, cool.
I thought
Thank
you
God.
guys would have just revolted and like, I'm not going.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So I'm obviously super pumped. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it totally blows my mind that this is actually possible. I know how great and big Ed is, but still, it's still like Canada's reaching out to the tourism department. It still kind of It's tough to process, but I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to go and love it and enjoy it and have a great time with you guys.
Yeah, it's still not very real yet to me either. So it'll probably kick once the blast of ice hits my face. Like, oh,
I really am in Canada.
I don't have clothes. You know, I don't have that thick of clothes. But luckily, it'll be indoors. So as long as we get from the
you got to
shuttle.
get to the facility too.
Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna sprint inside the hotel. But yes, it is in Charlevoix, Canada. I don't know Canadian geography very well, but I think it's on the east side.
Yeah.
So if you're in that area, I don't know if there's any Canadians out there who watch the channel, but we will be there.
Will this be out
Oh,
before then? Probably not, right?
What's that?
Will this podcast be out before we leave?
I'm gonna try to post this podcast like tomorrow.
Oh,
Wow,
look at you.
Quick editing.
I'm on top of it, man.
Took it to heart.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so super excited about that.
Yeah.
Best Christmas ever.
Thank you, Ed.
Any
Cool.
other trips? I don't know.
Anything else? Yeah, that's it.
You
for
got one?
The week after, I'm just seeing my dad in Georgia, Savannah, play some pickleball with them. He's huge into pickleball, so
I didn't know that.
teach him a thing or two. Yeah, he showed me pickleball, so
Nice.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
It's gonna be a good feeling.
Lovely.
So you guys, well,
Alright.
thanks for watching. We're gonna head out here, and hope you guys all have an awesome holiday.
Happy holidays.
Happy
And
holidays.
we'll
Happy holidays, everyone.
see you guys in the next one.
See ya.